We are the nerds of a nation. We are the nerds of a nation. We are.
One Piece, Chapter 32, Cruel Fortune. Alright, here we are, brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the magnificent and just cleverly woven tale of One Piece. Our last chapter ended off with one of our heroes, I would call him Zoro, being disarmed. He uses three swords, as we all know, and two of his three swords, as well as the sheaths, were swiped by one of the Meow Band brothers, the defenders of the guardians, I guess you'd say, of the Black Cat pirates' ship, Butchie and Siam. Butchie is a big, rotund fellow. They're both dressed like cats, or look like cat-like. Siam is the tall, thin one, and at any rate, so he wound up swiping them from him, and that's how the chapter ended. So, we start off right at that point, and Nami is yelling, "Hey, give him his swords back," and Zoro's like, "Hey, yeah, give me my swords back." And Siam says, "Yeah, give them back? Why would I do that?" And he says, "Before I attack you, I need to lighten the load." And he goes and he tosses the swords, but he tosses them obviously away from him and closer to the ship and Django and Butchie. So they are certainly out of Zoro's reach for the moment. And Zoro is pissed. He's pretty angry. Two out of the three of his swords have been swiped. He's not at all happy about that. So he charges balls to the wall style. And that's really what this whole thing is. It's just like one long action-packed page. So it's just very fulfilling, very nice if you like just the art, if you like just the fighting, the action. It's good. It's the big CG blockbuster 10-minute action scene is what it is. So Zoro comes at him, and in a panel that it looks like he just rips right through him, they show this picture of Siam just arched backwards, and it looks, he's just looked like he's been cut in half. Everybody's, oh, shit. And so he runs right through him, and then just runs, and he's running for his swords. As he's doing that, all of a sudden he's grabbed by Siam from behind, and we see in the next panel, Siam now has both of his arms. He's holding him, with his arms behind his back, and is now, now basically pinning him. And it basically says, "Well, I have no torso." And he says, "You cut my shirt." So what appeared to be just him lopping him and just, making his guts ooze all over the place in the ground. He's actually got such a thin, I guess, female-like, midsection that it was just that he just completely missed any type of arteries or even cutting him, and just cut his shirt up. So, at any for an example, I'm trying to think of another good character that I could compare this to, but he winds up, still just grabbing Zoro from behind, and then says, "Here, Butchie, get him," And Butchie comes at him, and cat strike, and he nails him, and then he goes and he jumps up in the air and goes, "Cat-astrophe!" And Zoro moves at the last minute, but he lands on the ground, and it's such an earth-shattering thud that, it literally cracks the ground, So this is like superhero type stuff, equivalent to what I would see like the Hulk do in the comic books or something, The ground just rattles out from him and everything. So Zoro is clearly, at least at the moment, looks like he's outmatched by these two. Not only do they outnumber him 2-1, but he's missing 2/3 of his swords that he's used to using, and that's the style that he uses, the three-sword style. So he's pretty much going to himself, "Oh Jesus, I need my swords." It then goes to the top of the hill, and we have Nami up there with Usopp, and Usopp, of course, had kind of gotten beaten up and down in the last couple of chapters. But they're basically discussing, hey, he's not doing well over there, and he's outnumbered, and he's getting his ass kicked. And Usopp says, "Well, I'll provide some artillery fire," So he starts pulling out to eat lead, and he's firing, the shots from his slingshot down. Well, Zoro is, has his back to them, and he's fighting them. He sees these coming, and he starts moving into them, to actually absorb the shots from. And Nami is like, "What the hell? Whose side are you on? What are you doing?" They come to the conclusion that basically these two powerhouses, that Zoro is going to keep their attention and focus on him. He's the only one out of the three of them that really has any chance of beating them. So what he does is basically he keeps the attention on him, because if those things did hit them and they started drawing their attention and one of them decided to focus on Usopp and Nami, it would not be good for them. So that's, you know, kind of the conclusion they come to with that one. There's like I said, there's certainly just panel after panel of just some great, you know, great fighting. After that, after he absorbs the shots from that, because he obviously has to kind of turn and look to absorb those shots, you know, the Meow Band brothers, Butchie and Siam, you know, they basically come at him, and you know, it's a pussy willow attack or something like that, and basically they just start coming at him. It's like clang, 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 you know, and they're trying to nail him with their claws, both of them at the same time, and he's holding his one sword up, but he's losing ground, you know, and even Nami says, oh, he's moving back, he's losing ground, you know, and which clearly is not good in any type of fight or situation, war, battle, whatever the case may be. So Nami goes, and she's basically just like, listen, I need to go and try to get his swords. I gotta make a run for him, you know. And Usopp says, no, that's okay, I'll go. And she says, you're still wounded, don't worry about it. Boom, she hops over the side of the little embankment, the cliff, and drops down. And she's got her little bow staff, and she starts running like hell. She just gets to the swords, and she's now thinking, how am I going to get these into Zoro's hands, you know? And all of a sudden, boom, she gets blindsided by Django. He just, whap, you know, just nails her with that medallion of his, and she's cold-cocked. She's out cold, unconscious. Luffy, of course, has been out now for a couple of chapters. He was put to sleep by Django as he went crazy with the superhuman hypnotist like strength that he got, and the mask that he pulled off of the Black Cat pirate ship has fallen on top of him, so he's sleeping with, you know, a 2,000-pound mast on his head, you know, piece of wood or whatever. Zoro, it's not looking very good for him. He certainly is losing ground. Usopp has been wounded pretty bad, and it's not really looking good for you know, really not looking good for the good guys, or for the ones that I'm certainly rooting for. So the chapter ends shortly after that. The Meow Band brothers are both, now keep in mind, they're facing, you know, up the hill, so towards where the town would be and everything, and Zoro and everybody else, they're facing downward towards the shore with their back to the town. They're of course defending and not, you know, trying to not let them pass. So all of a sudden, as they're fighting, they get these just looks on their face like, oh shit, and then it goes and it flashes, and we see Clahador, Captain Kuro, and of course they're all afraid of him, even though he has not been the captain of the ship for 3 years. They're just all deathly afraid of him. He obviously was a ruthless captain when he was, you know, commander of their ship, and they're all scared for their life because they're like, oh my god, it's the captain, he's gonna kill us, you know. So Kuro's pissed, man. You know, he's just got this angry look on his face, and he's just like, where the hell, you know, I can see obviously something, you know, held you up or whatever. Where the hell have you been, type of thing. So that's how it ends. You know, they're scared for their lives. His own men are scared for their lives that he's going to kill them. They already said that, you know, oh my god, he'll slit our throats if we don't make it there. All the other pirates have been knocked unconscious or killed or what have you in the last chapter. And Zoro, although losing ground, this may be, who knows, this may somehow turn the tide, you know, turn the battle and then the tide in our favor. So let me know, let me know what you folks think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you think I've earned it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will catch you guys in the next one.
Hey, guess who? Well, if you guessed Jim, then you guessed correct. I just wanted to take a quick minute and tell you folks that if you take a look or click on the video in the description for the Walking Dead issue 3 review, there is a neat Easter egg and picture of Usopp.